Here we are, chapter 4.
Ehi,
Even with
Chase,
pausing a
cosa hai
couple
scoperto
times,
alla miniera?
I
Lottare sono un buono a nulla.
still
Rex
keeping
era lì.
pretty good pace.
Ha portato
You're
via
gonna want to
tutti i loro
go.
prima che
This is
potessi
just
salvarlo
first
e
player.
mi ha
You can
mandato
drop
alla
out second player if you want.
Wow.
I don't because it
E
wastes a
adesso che
little bit of
intenzioni di
time.
fare?
Mi
But
allenerò
you
al
just
dojo
take whatever
P5
car you
per
have
fare in
over
modo che
here.
non
This is
succeda più.
pretty
Ah,
sucky
ok.
car. I'll
Io
probably
intanto ti
change
chiamerò
the
Frank.
car on the
Scommetto che ha
road,
perso
but
il
it's
telefono.
still faster than walking to the road. Just using the car, whatever car you get here. And because we already have all of these super bricks, we can build the bridge automatically. So that's kind of the point. You don't want to have to collect any bricks here at all. Because if you do, you're losing time. That's why the multiplier is so key so early on. Also, I think it is only 53,000 bricks that we have to get. Don't get that character there, you'll soft lock. Apparently. I haven't actually soft locked there myself, but... Also, the type of car you get depends on how fast you can scale those stairs, but it's normally faster to be in a car than out of a car. But there are some special cars that cannot climb those stairs. And we're into Kung Fu. Pretty simple. Bridge build, you know, we're getting to the easy part now. There's some tricks that you're just going to have to... Once you practice them enough, you're just going to be able to apply them really easily. I maybe should have shown minor altercation a little bit more with those triple jumps, but you know what? You can always look back and figure it out. All we got to do here, you remember how to two-player warp. Oh, I don't remember how to two-player warp, but what you want to do here, you want to warp over here. Just continue to warp. You might get stuck up here, that's fine. Just go towards the camera and you're gonna go to the left there. There's some better warping setups on different consoles, but it all depends. You want to put second player over here so that you can transport player 1 over here and hit the gong. Saves a couple of seconds, but it's worthwhile. Skip this cutscene, and this is where we get to some controversy. I like to two-player fight here, and I'll tell you my secrets on how to not be bad at two-player fighting here. Which is, you just want to wait. So, say I get this X guy. He's gonna hop up, and now I can get the next guy. If you knock them into each other, you're gonna lose time because it doesn't count them as the check marks. And if you do it too fast, if you knock them down too fast, say one after the other, and you don't wait for them to hop back up, then you won't get a check mark as well. The game doesn't register it. So you have to be you kind of have to be patient, but you kind of have to just feel out a system for yourself. A lot of people just do this with one player, and this second part especially is kind of just best with one player, I would say. Well, we had a pretty good ending there. Remember, I checked the right side of first player, and I saw that he had jumped up, and so I knew it was okay to press Y there. This one, the Y part is the hardest part because Chase throws them in a weird direction sometimes, and so... Make sure if you are doing two players here that you wait for them to hop back up before you even capture them. This was too early. You see what happened there? He didn't jump up. I pressed B, I captured him, and now I've got to wait for another one to hop up and do it over again. It's just time loss. This is one of the worst parts of the run, mainly because you can get kind of bad RNG with that Y round, and also just you might toss them into each other, and you lose like 10 seconds for no reason. Sometimes happens, and at this point, we are really just home free. What you want to do is you want to capture both of these guys. Hold down X, throw them at the big guys, and these guys are gonna go after you. If you have your two-player movement down fast enough, you should be able to just grab them, throw them, and then dodge, and it's free. It's the freest thing if you're doing it with 2 players. You do it in... it feels so good when you hit it too. Because it really is, it's the perfect kind of amalgamation of all those different types of skills. We're going to have first player go to the docks here. And we're going to have second player go down the stairs. This is a relatively new strat.
No, Frank,
still.
Ti cercava. Ti aveva chiesto un favore, forse?
Sì, è una strana storia.
We are going to get the only red brick.
Della polizia e portarlo
I just
all'inaugurazione
realized I haven't preset my extras menu. I was a bad little speedrunner. And didn't preset my menu, my extras menu.
Ti do un indizio. È il 6.
Il camion, Frank.
But what we're going to do here, make sure not to fall off.
Hai idea di dove sei?
Player 1's going to go over to
una sirena da nebbia, quindi dovremmo essere
the
vicino al
docks
porto.
over, or excuse me,
Poi
Krabby
ho avuto
Cove.
l'impressione che il camion
That's
sia
pretty
passato
easy.
sopra
All
un
you got to
binario.
do is kind of hold forward and jump
E
and
quando
just
ci
make
siamo
sure that
fermati
you're
ho
going
guardato fuori
to...
e ho visto Krabby Cove.
Io ti...
Not gonna do anything weird there.
Dove?
So, I'm going to preset player 1 here, and I'm going to do something with player 2 here. I'm actually going to chicken glide. Or, excuse me, I'm going to fall into the shark here as soon as I get into the cutscene. You'll remember we did this right before Albatross. Did it there. The shark comes up there and you're like, whoa! It's super fun to look at. But we can now move player 2. And that is good for the purpose... Ooh. That's a little bit unfortunate. I didn't mean to do that. But I will show it regardless. So we'll have to go into the shark again. Unfortunate that I hit it there. But what you want to do here is you want to chicken glide across. Sorry, player 1. You're just going to have to get beat up for a little bit. You're going to chicken glide across to this red brick over here. It just came into view. Boop. That's what we wanted to see. And now this is 2-player fighting. So you're really going to want to practice that 2-player movement that you've got. I know you've got practice down. That was pretty bad fighting. Yes. So let me explain a couple things. Optimally, you do die before that badge even comes up so that you can... or you die right as the badge comes up, optimally. So that you can do it right away. And then another optimal thing, you chicken glide first time, you don't hit some weird-ass geometry, and you get that red brick right away. And then you're able to 2-player fight right away back here. I'm going to turn on Turbo per Tutti. Turbo for all. We're going to have turbo while we're doing MOV. Ideally, this loses 0 time and gains you 10 seconds at the end. But that all comes down to how fast you're able to 2-player move, how fast you're able to do all of these things. Just depends. But this is pretty much, you know, you've learned how to fight properly. And now this is just using 2-player fighting to its greatest potential. You want to save as much time as you can here because you are playing with 2 players. So you want to use your Ys, and then you really just want to arrest them all. You want to get the big guys arrested. Because if you don't get the big guys arrested, you're just going to be sad. Like, that was really optimal right there. I can't really explain what to do there. You just kind of have to feel it out for yourself. Sometimes you're going to get hit. Sometimes you got to wait a little bit. Especially if you knock... Like, I always leave one person around because if you knock your last guy down, he has to jump back up and then you've got to get him again. And you always want... The key is that you want to, the shirtless guys, the buff guys, you don't want to have to spam B on them. Because you can't get them down with the X, which is the fastest way of getting them down, or a Y. You can only get them down with a Y or spamming B. So if you can knock one into another, if you're like in the center of a group and you can like really knock them into each other with a Y, or you throw a small guy into them, that's pretty optimal. Or if you dodge their attacks. But if you can't, you know, it's really audible and in the moment. So you're just going to have to practice it and kind of feel it for yourself. And you've just got to have that game knowledge, really. this isn't something you can muscle memory. This is just something that you kind of learn their patterns and you kind of figure out, okay, here's what I need to do. And you just need to keep track of those buff guys. Because if you've got a buff guy at the last guy, if he doesn't want to hit you, then you've got to press B and you lose like 5 seconds. So right now, though, we get into the MOV and we just boost all the way home. I'll show you the route, the optimal route. But this is home free at this point. Hopefully you don't crash the MOV and you gain. Yeah, we got boost. We want to go through that bridge there, up this hill, and then we're going to go over this jump. It loses you no hearts, and because this cutscene plays, it just kind of, it auto puts you somewhere. It's the fastest way of going here. You can't go through the tunnel. And so you want to just really just do your racing lines. And you don't want to do that. So I flew too close to the sun there. It's going to ask me to restart it. That's fine. At least that's it. Yeah, there we are. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. But what you want to do here is you just want to go through those arches. Jump over. Just jump here. And you're in a pretty hefty car. The guys, Chan's dudes, aren't going to go after you so easily. I'm going to try not falling off this time. I think what really hurt me there is that my boost came and you turn a little bit faster with boost. So you can see they just go right off. You're going to want to go on these jumps and you want to try and stay as straight as possible. Because you gain speed by doing the jumps, you gain speed by having a boost, but you'll lose speed if it flips you over. I go to the left here, because you just blow that up in one hit and you dodge those other cars. And at this point, it's just having a good racing line. You can still jump with your car, so I recommend, you know, they might hit you once or twice, but I recommend jumping over here because otherwise you might get kind of thrown off in a weird way. I have a racing line up the hill and it is home free. You've got no guys chasing you now. You just gotta get to the police badge. And at the police badge, when the screen goes dark, that's time, baby, that's time. That is Undercover Percent. That is how you do it. First 4 chapters of the game, I was explaining things for the last like 15 minutes, and I still got a sub 50. With this method, I mean, you can go as low as I can, because this is the route that I use. I'm not. This is full. This is for everybody to learn and thrive from, because I really want to see more top level Undercover Percent runs. The times will change and vary on different consoles. The best piece of advice that I can give you is just do runs. You can practice the individual levels in free play. You can, you know, do this, do that. I'm gonna alt tab so that the game pauses. But my best piece of advice is you practice your movement, your tricks. You know, maybe you jump into Lego City Undercover, and for 15 minutes you pull up a YouTube video or you listen to a podcast and you just 2-player drive optimally with boost. And you just drive around. This is what I did. I just drove around, just trying to go through the city, taking all the turns, just trying to stay on the road. It's hard at first, but I promise you it gets easier. Same with the 2-player warping. You just figure out your own setups. You figure out what to do. Same with chicken gliding. Same with triple jumps. Same with those shark glitches. You get the feel for it. It's going to take some time. But even if you mess up a little bit, you know, you can still, right now, Undercover Percent, let me pull it up. This is inspirational DJ right now. Right now, any percent, or excuse me, undercover percent, you know, I'm at the top with the 43.28. There are only 3 times that are lower than a 50-minute. If you get a sub 1 hour, you're in the top 10. With this method, with these methods and these tricks, if you within what do you guys think? Probably 1 or 2 tries, you'll be right above that hour mark. It took me, I think, 5 attempts to get to like 56 minutes. It's going to vary on which console you're playing it on because load times vary, and we don't take that into account. But you can be top 10 pretty easily. You just got to practice those tricks for just an hour or 2 and just do a couple runs. Just get it in your system, get the juices flowing, get the route learned, and you'll be awesome.